Namaste. My name is Parag Maitre. I am from Pune, India. I would like to first thank you, TEDx, for giving this opportunity for me to speak. I would like to start first with the quote: "Hard work beats talent, always." I remember my father gave me three major lessons. He mentioned, Parag, there are three major lessons which you remember and which you follow. If you follow, you will have hurdles, but at the end of the tunnel, you will always find the light. The first is hard work. Second is patience, to have patience, and third, of course, is to follow first two. There is no replacement for hard work, and there is no replacement for patience. So many times, what happens is we do a lot of hard work and we expect results faster, and it is very difficult to see the results faster. I remember I started my martial art career. That's my entry towards sport in the school days, way back in 1994-95. I was fascinated by Bruce Lee. I used to see his poster whenever there was a movie in the town. I used to just stare at him. I mean, he was the fastest man I have seen. I used to see his movie again and again. I have seen Enter the Dragon, I think, over 25 times. I mentioned to my father that I would like to be like a Bruce Lee. I would like to play martial art. I would like to be like a Jackie Chan. He does gymnastics plus karate. It's so amazing to see this guy jumping from one building to another building. But my father mentioned that if you want to learn martial art, you have to get to the classes immediately. Because if you have that thought in the mind, you have to start implementing it immediately before the thought goes away. So I started enrolling. I enrolled myself in karate classes. In Talegaon. We were staying in a small place, Talegaon, which is 30 to 40 kilometers away from Pune city. And I started going to karate classes. I started liking karate. In initial days, it was a problem because when you are starting off with this journey of sport, sometimes when you are fighting, you get a punch, you get a kick, and you are really not much friendly about that particular environment. But then again, father and my coach, Mr. Godambe, initially he mentioned me that this is just the start. The more punches you take, the more strength you will endure, the more you will grow. I realized these things little later in my life. I kept on going. I finished black belt. I think it took around 7 years for me, and my first international competition was in Mumbai. That is basically playing the national competition. I got gold medal. Now, I was managing school and I was managing my martial art. So, 3 hours every alternate days to go all the way and learn martial art, learn the art, again study, again concentrate on the studies. So, I was basically allocating around 3 hours of time, 3 times a week, and that's just the time which I allocated, which basically helped me to complete my training rigorously to get gold medal for my state. That is basically for the national competition. I was selected for international competition, and my coach mentioned me, Parag, you have to travel international and you have to make a mark on the international level. I remember way back in 1999, 2000, that is 20 years back, I can still feel that medal. I got bronze medal for India for my first international competition. Now, how did I do this? I was equally passionate about automobiles. I wanted to also perform and do engineering, do something which a regular person does, do engineering, get a well-settled job. That was my thought process in my initial days. But when I started reading books, when I started watching other people who I really wanted to follow, I understood that there is still more way to do a lot of other things. I need to follow my passion. Coming back from Talegaon, we got shifted to Pune. When we came to Pune, I got enrolled for engineering. I did my diploma mechanical, diploma automobile, and then I did BE mechanical. I met Dr. Tillo, that is principal of my college. During those days, I was traveling. He mentioned, Parag, you are passionate to do something in the sports. Think on that line. Engineering can be an activity, but I think you have to work out something on a longer run. I was not really sure because martial art didn't fetch much money. So I kept on doing a little research, and after completed my engineering, of course I got a job, a well-settled job martial arts still a part-time activity way back in 2002, 2003. 2005 I moved to US for my work because I got a job in multinational company, and that's the first time I actually encountered kettlebells. I was just using kettlebells as a random tool. I was not sure about the kettlebell sport, but hopping to US, India a couple of times, I encountered kettlebells again. And then I actually started researching about fitness, that is kettlebells. If I can do some education in kettlebells, or if I can do some education in fitness, that would really help me to get more knowledge about it, because I already had a background of martial arts. I started allocating little small time to study way back in 2008. I completed the formal education in fitness, and I was actually doing 2 jobs from 2008 to 2010. I started taking trainings. I had over 30 trainings during those days, and of course very less sleep, but I was still working very hard. And 2010, 2011, I decided to quit my job. It was a very hard decision because I was married with twins, and of course there was a very great support from my wife, from my family. I had to make a decision that I had to leave because it was high time. When I thought that, okay, I want to make this decision, I decided, what is next, what you really want to do. So in order to get the money flowing, of course I started managing clubs, that is basically managing fitness club, because I completed my education, and then I decided to pick up the niche subject. Fitness is a very vast field. I picked up the niche subject called functional training, in which kettlebells is just the tool. So I decided to pursue further education by going to US. So I traveled to US to study kettlebells. During those days, of course, the kettlebells formal course was for 1 week, but I stayed back into the club for long hours, try to understand the technique, try to understand how it can help me, how it can help my clients. I was passionate to teach because I was already teaching. I was passionate to talk because I was already doing that in my company. Both amalgamated. Both things came together. I came back to India. I was very excited, but then of course there were not. How do I place myself? Because it was totally blank. 2011 back, there was none. I mean, there was no one teaching kettlebells. There was no one lifting kettlebells. There was no one who could understand the art. The most important part is fitness. As you know, bodybuilding is very popular, but doing kettlebell lift, doing kettlebell swing, how it is going to get benefited, lot of questions was there. So I started writing articles because I really wanted this to be one of the main thing for my fitness, because if I try to push it, if I speak about it, starting with one person, there will be multiple coaches, there will be multiple people speaking about it. So I decided to form Academy way back in 2011. I formed a fitness academy, and then we started pushing it via teaching in various clubs, starting with Pune. Then we go to interstate, started teaching courses in different cities, different states. 7-8 years, we expanded to 20 states. Then I went and did international. I did seminars in United Kingdom. I did seminars in Singapore. I did same seminar in Sri Lanka. My passion started increasing. How did I do that? See, while I was handling the club, while I was teaching this, I was also allocating some amount of time reading what I really wanted to implement to my members, what I really wanted to implement to my coaches. When I allocated certain amount of time, I had a path, the correct path that, okay, if not now, maybe after 5 years. So, see, personally I believe that anticipation is power. If you are able to anticipate what you really want to do in the life, that is have a horizon of say maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, then probably you can get the correct pathway. I laid those foundations in my initial days because I was following many people and who were really doing that. It was unfortunate that I was not having a correct coach, but definitely I started following this. Slowly, when I realized that when I'm teaching, I'm also simultaneously promoting kettlebell sport, because kettlebell sport was new to India. 2013, I remember my first competition way back in Bangkok. I got gold medal for India. because I had a very good sports conditioning, I thought that let's try this competition and see how it really works. And I lifted double 24s for the first time, and I was really elated because I got the first place in Asian competition. I was holding that medal and I was saying to myself, Parag, have you arrived? Have you really want to do these competitions? It's a lot of pain because kettlebell sport is the toughest sport. You are combining your strength and endurance together. My workout hours was 2 hours. Plus I had to work. I was married. I had zeroed on my income. There were a lot of things going in my mind. I was managing clubs. There were expenses. Of course, because of my support, I started allocating certain amount of time by having a very good focus that Parag, you are going to compete and you are going to have at least minimum 2 competitions every year, whether it is a national, whether it is international. Then when I laid down the program, that of course the coaches were there, but the coaches were expensive. It was not pocket friendly. So I started doing research about kettlebells more, and I started doing my own programs. And I learned a lot in the process. I failed miserably many times. I got injured. My lower back was injured, my wrist was injured, my neck was injured, my ankle definitely was injured because I really wanted to progress. But every failure taught me the lesson. And that every failure, that every stepping stone is being preserved. I have the logs for past 8 years written down. I have my all workouts written down, and I have all those logs preserved, which is basically used for my students now. So I have understood the process of how the kettlebell sport is really working. Of course, I did my further qualification in Russia, and then I really understood the training techniques and programs. 2019 was the biggest achievement of my kettlebell sport. That was in Poland. I remember I had lost 4 kilos because the route was taking 2 countries, reaching there, no sleep for 2 nights, and on the next day competing. So I started feeding my mind because I knew this thing is going to happen to me because it was definitely projected. I really wanted to make a mark on the world level. I wanted the rank desperately. I was really looking forward for that rank. I'm talking about Master of Sport. That is the 2nd highest rank in kettlebells. So I projected myself that I'm going to lift that much amount of the weight with my body weight of 68 kilos for 30 minutes. That was the marathon. So I lifted 216 kg kettlebells for 272 reps, and that is currently the best at my body weight category. You can Google to find out the information. And on the next day itself, I did 1 hour long cycle, that is 1 hour clean and jerk movement with 24 kilo kettlebells for 608 reps. Again, that is one of the top 5 lifts in the world for my body weight category. How did I do this? Nothing is impossible, friends. It's very simple because of combining my travel time, because of combining my my education time, my family time. Everything has certain amount of time given. I did the same thing. Plus, I combined everything with the meditation techniques. That's a mindful training. I started seeing the results first, even before going to the competitions, and that really helped me to get very closer to my path, get very closer to my results. And I tested this before I tested on the international level, and it really worked. I started writing down logs, I started writing down my results, and it started helping me. And the same thing is helping for my clients now. I believe that physical power is there, but mental power is much more powerful than the physical power. If you do some small fine tunes in your program, so for example, if you're studying and if you really want to have more concentration in the studies, definitely you need to do certain activity, physical activity and mental activities which can aid the improvement in your studies, and that is very necessary. So that was the biggest achievement which I just mentioned. To wrap up, I would like to really share the 3 big lessons which I have learned, and I'm sure you guys want to take up at least 1, if not 3, for your upcoming career. The first important is sharing is caring, living is giving. I personally feel that the more you give, the more you get back. 2013, I established my NGO, that's Prerna Foundation. 2011, I established EK. So in 3 years, I established NGO. What we do is we take care of unprivileged girl child education, and also we conduct the food camps. I personally believe the happiness comes from giving. You buy a new clothes, you buy a new shoe, you buy anything new for yourself, the happiness is momentary. But if you try to share very important part from your day-to-day activity, the happiness is something else. And there is a biochemical change in your body which basically allows you to think more vast, to attract what you really want. This is my personal experience. Second, have quality people in your life. Practice OQB, that's only quality people. I again tell this to my friends is, if you walk in the garden with your friend or probably with your wife, you will always see that either you match their speed or either they match your speed. So same thing happens when you have good quality people of life. Whatever they think, whatever their thought process is there, whatever they think imbibes on you, and same thing happens for them from you. So if you have quality people in your life, I'm sure the thinking becomes more broader. And that is what is going, like a second lesson which I've learned. So I've always kept quality people in my life, and I've always changed the group. If you're smart in the group, it's time to leave the group, always. Third point is rule your mind or it will rule you. 85% and above, your thoughts are negative. It's mind-boggling, but it's true. All throughout the day, your brain, your mind always goes into a survival mode. Oh, really, I really want to do this. Oh, will it harm me? Oh, if I'm going to live this way, will it harm my shoulder? Will it harm my hips or my legs? A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You have to try. Keep on trying until you really fail. And then you will actually realize your potential. And that has to be started from the mind. So, rule your mind, have good thoughts, read good books, and I'm sure that will really help you to nurture your career, whether it is education, whether it is your business, whether it is your sport, whether it is a relationship, whether it is your family, anything. So, thank you very much for this opportunity once again, TEDx. I'm sure with this time I have given best of what I have done. Thank you very much once again, and God bless. Live with passion, train with passion. Thank you.